Hello and welcome to the Star Citizen monthly report for June-July. I'm going to omit most of the 3.2 work that the studios did, as we literally have it in our hands now. I'll be focusing on what they've been working on for 3.3, Squadron 42 and beyond. Ships, the Mustang Alpha rework is art complete. Additional Mustang variants are close to being handed over to system design for completion as well. The Tumble Cyclone variants have made great progress on the art side. They've wrapped up the grey box phase of the Constellation Phoenix. The interior and exterior were fleshed out, and they're now going through an edit to cut back on some of the busier areas of the ship. Next up, the modelling portion in the master bedroom and flight prep art, the interior damage, will all need to be finished so tech art can start their damage process. Once the steps are done, there will be another lighting pass to get the interior dialed in. They are putting the finishing touches to the F8 Lightning. They still need to finalise the LODs and then do some tweaks, but then that ship will be done. Work began on early concept ideas for the Origin 300i rework. The Origin 890 jump has seen work establishing the final room layout and proportions, and there's been some R&D on the future Banu ships with a focus on the Defender at the moment, because obviously that's going to help define how they all look. The Hammerhead is getting a damage pass for the exterior and a level of detail pass across the interior. Some vehicle features: manned turrets received various improvements, such as the ability to focus a ship and the removal of the counterbalance speed restriction. Players can now operate remote turrets in vehicles, which was implemented with Item System 2.0 stuff that came with 3.2. Man turrets still need some stabilization work to make them viable though. They continued development of overpowering and overheating items with a focus on quantum drives, shields and coolers. They also expanded itemware to account for overheating. NPC, character and AI stuff, so I kind of bundled this all into the same category. They worked on further defining NPC behaviours like bartenders, bar patrons, security officers and more. There are a few new mission givers in development that are almost finalised, which we will see in 3.3. There's also been rapid progress on the retargeting of male animations to female skeletons, which brings players closer to being able to choose a female avatar in the persistent universe. There's a lot more work that's gone on to Squadron 42 with its vast cast of characters and aliens. They are creating levels with every character in a lineup so they can see which outfit each one wears in a specific chapter. A lot of development and time's gone into the Vandal armor, spear, knife and general close combat. Progress was also made on the updated flight suit, and work started on another major character. They've been working on a new Spec Ops AI combat set and prepared it for full implementation. This includes cover, high and low enter and exits, peeks, step outs, blind fires, reloads and grenade throws. Iteration and feedback on weaponry recoil continued with the goal of providing a solid first-person experience across a full range of weapons available in Squadron 42 and the Persistent Universe. Preparations started to replace the AI-based locomotion sets with finalised data as well. So new capture footage was reviewed with an eye to implement improved AI motion sets and visuals. Further animation work was completed on the Master at Arms to fill in any gaps that the design team had in implementing his behaviour for Squadron 42. The cinematic animation team also worked on testing how far they could technically push the walk and talk AI conversations. The goal is to retain the performance that the actors brought to these talks while running numerous real-time additives, such as layering upper body performance capture on top of a personalised per character locomotion walk set. The tests so far have yielded positive results. They worked to make enemy ship AI more fun to engage with. Initially, it was built as realistic as possible, but that doesn't always make for the best gameplay. For example, a computer is extremely good at using the coupled mode, far better results than any human could. While this is technically the best solution for fighting in space, it also feels unnatural and unintuitive to the player. They want to strike a balance between realism and giving the player a fun, challenging experience by cutting down the number of unnatural maneuvers the AI can perform. There's been a focus on FPS AI for multiplayer, making sure they are functionally similar to the single player mode. The push with the Vandal reached its completion with their behaviours being almost locked down. A lot of work went into how the Vandal navigate the environments, attack, defend, and melee, and react to various weapons. They also spent time on civilian and guard behaviours, adding as much life into them as needed. They've been designing Modular Conversations, which are blocks of randomly changing dialogue that can be controlled by various AI parameters like morale, hunger, etc. Basically, it's a giant tree of animation line clusters, and the AI simply navigate through them, producing different outcomes and different wild lines and animations based on where they are, but also giving you a slightly more unique experience. They also improved the way entities can receive ranged events. A ranged event is started when an entity is in proximity of another event. They've developed various efficient ways for NPCs to get assignments and to work out what their AI should be doing at any given time. Ship behaviours have received significant improvements for the future 3.3 alpha release. They started implementing different behaviour strategies associated with different ship types, so pilots can use the best capabilities of their specific vehicle. They also improved the way accuracy is calculated so ships attacking enemies feel more natural. Human combat is also being polished. The team is currently going through as many use case scenarios as possible to validate the system works as intended. Environments. They are finalising assets for the new ship hangars, as well as making passes on their dressing, branding, and props. They are prepared for upcoming sprints, including sprints for a new habitation module, new security checkpoints. Elsewhere, the teams are investigating and beginning to whitebox ideas for new small points of interest to populate Hurston beyond Lorville. They continued their push on Lorville Section 19, L19, bringing more and more areas to a final state. With L19 coming alive, they're kicking off production on the surrounding areas, including the procedural tiles that represent the wider city. Regarding organic environments, the team wrapped up the first pass on the Hurston biomes and moved on to defining Hurston's 4 moons. Each moon has its own look and feel and reflects some of the elements found on Hurston itself. These new moons are an example of the Planet Tech system's flexibility, being able to reuse, remix, and create new locations using all elements built to date. This saves a lot of time, and the process is getting faster as the tools and assets mature. They also worked on Area 18 and the rest stop space station layouts that are generated by procedural tools. They completed a versatile white box version of a security checkpoint that can be easily adapted to locations of different sizes and security levels, and revisited the interiors of the refinery space station. The transit system has seen work and improvements as well. This includes elevators, metros, trams, and similar other methods of transportation. Memory testing with the logging of environment variables enabled is also underway. Design and gameplay stuff, just a little bit here. Quantum travel and quantum spline work continues. The system is working relatively well in 3.2. Work has also gone into adjusting the economy by tuning rewards for missions, cargo deliveries, and mining runs. This will continue. Work also progressed nicely on ensuring that bars in the future releases will have a well-crafted, intelligent bartender to make the experience fun and believable. Although it's still in its early stages, design is excited about the first iteration coming to the persistent universe later this year. They are planning ways to improve on group systems and how players can interact with each other. Some back-end services. They continue to rewrite services for the new diffusion architecture for better performance, scalability, and functionality. Here are some of the services being created to replace the legacy work. Entitlement Processor Service. This handles all purchased and rented items from the website and assures that real game items are created and managed for them. The Loadout Service. This caches and manages the various loadouts for all ships and the player avatar configuration, including outfits and weapons. Right now, the game's servers and clients can only access metadata from objects that are currently spawned on a game server. Usually the devs want to view the data of an item that has not been loaded into a game server. Variable Service. This solves the loadout problem above by decoupling the metadata from the items and providing a runtime cache and API, allowing game servers and other diffusion services access regardless of the state of the item. Wallet Service. This deals with changes in currency and manages the current balance in game. An API is set up to allow for other services to query or modify the player's balance. Graphics. So they fixed a lot of bugs with SLI and Crossfire, flickering shadows, as well as improving the player experience, adding drop shadows to all transparent ship UI screens, adding brightness, gamma, contrast support, optimizing the glass shaders, and fixing multiple issues with render to texture on the ship targeting UI, which reduced the cost by a factor of 10. And they've been making the UI more clear for colorblind users too. They've been working on player grips as well, so players will be able to grip varying sized objects, whether they be round or square or whatever, whether they be two-handed props, one-handed props. Basically, they've got lots of procedural animations they can now tweak so that you can pick up objects of pretty much any size without the need for multiple animation assets for them. Object container streaming. A lot of focus of the various teams is for 3.3 and object container streaming. The core gameplay tech team moved object container streaming to the stage where they can turn on the background loading of individual entities. Now it's up to QA to find out what bugs come from this stage. They worked on the base functionality of the loading and unloading individual object containers. The individual features team have done a fine job of making their entity components thread safe, as well as moving the Lua script over into C++, all of which is required for object container streaming. This is probably the most important thing for Star Citizen now. Community stuff. So there seems to be quite a lot of a push for community content this month. They brought back MVP, Most Valuable Poster, so every week they'll select one piece of content submitted to get an MVP badge. There is also regular competitions as well. So until the moment, until the 15th of July, they want people to make a 600i commercial. CitizenCon tickets will be available again shortly as well. That was basically it. There's always a huge range of Star Citizen and Squadron 42 tools that have been improved and streamlined every month. They can basically do more with better results in less time for pretty much all disciplines and all pipelines. The engine team continue to push physics optimizations as well. They've optimized raycasting. They've improved Horizon SSDO quality and performance, which is now enabled by default. Over the coming weeks, we should see a lot of information on 3.3 and that core object container streaming tech, but also Planet Hurston and lots of quite cool stuff. Expect to see lots of roadmap updates, expect to see 3.2.1 and 3.2.x patches come online as well. But tell me what you think down below. Are you particularly excited about anything you heard in the monthly report? Particularly disappointed for something you didn't hear? I did omit a lot of the 3.2 stuff because we have 3.2 literally in our hands and playable now, and just saying, yep, they did all that seems a bit redundant. To celebrate the release of 3.2, myself and a multitude of other Star Citizen streamers are fundraising for Special Effect with a series of streams over the week until the 7th of July. There will be ship giveaways across the various streams too. Go to justgiving.com/fundraising/star-citizen-special effect to find out more and get involved. I'm also giving away a Saber Raven to a random commenter on one of my videos during that time too. Make sure you're subscribed to my YouTube channel and comment on any of my videos made this week to be in for a chance of winning, including this one. Also, Shadow stuff. Be sure to check out Shadow. It's a cloud-based alternative to getting or upgrading your gaming PC. It allows you to leverage the power of a GeForce 1080 at the moment and a powerful Windows 10 PC on almost any device so long as your internet connection is good enough. It works with Star Citizen Alpha 3.2 and with 3.3 coming in September with object container streaming, it's only going to get better. Shadow is available in France, Germany, United States, United Kingdom, Belgium, Luxembourg, and Switzerland. If you do try it out, be sure to use the code BoredGamer to get a discount. Links to more info in the description below. A special thank you to my Patreons and all the people that watch my videos and all that sort of jazz. You guys are awesome. If you want to support the channel further, there's links below as well for Patreon donations and all that sort of jazz as well. You guys are amazing. You take care, and I'll see you in the verse.